Hello to our great viewers out there. It's another Tuesday and you're live on Divine Mercy Television. The program is Let's Talk. It comes up every Tuesday here on your darling TV station. And of course, we know so much talk about in our quartiers and neighborhood. It's about football, it's about Cameroon and how we will collect the cup. But of course, with Let's Talk, we talk all that and more. Welcome to the program. I'm your host, Prince Likie. And of course, we have another opportunity with you, our beautiful viewers out there, today again to contribute our own small quota in order to make the country to be a better place for everybody. It is our own way of giving back, bringing up societal topics, very interesting topics that we see how we can right the wrongs that are taking place in our society. So we go around, we look at certain things, and of course we decide to put it on the table, and not just here in the studio. Those of you who are also watching from home or maybe live on Facebook, you can equally have your say. You will participate by sending us an SMS, and together when we do that, we try to make things very easier, and of course try to bring back those who are going a little bit astray back to order. I usually have persons who take time out of their busy schedule to come here on the studio to discuss with me. They say in pidgin, one hand no fit tie bundle. So together we put our heads and our opinions together and see how we make the topic to be very interesting and of course educative, so that you who are watching us out there, when you equally contribute together, we impact our community. I'll begin with Mr. Ebong Fidel. He is a panelist of this program. He always makes time out his very busy schedule to be with us. Thanks so very much. It's always a pleasure having you here. How have you been?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here again once more. Of course, now we are in demanding times because of the so many festive or so many activities that we have. But I must say, God has always been very, very faithful to me, and He has been keeping me so strong and always to be available every Tuesday, just like we are now on the set. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know you're a lover of football.
A staunch one at that.
And what's the procrastination for Cameroon match on Thursday? I know patriotism will come in, but now tell me your mind.
No, I just want to say that for Thursday, we will start with a victory on Thursday, but I am so much concerned at the end of the World Cup that we must take the cup. Yes, very, very important.
Okay, we'll begin the victory on Thursday.
On Thursday.
All right, congratulations to Cameroon. I love the spirit. We all have that spirit, and of course, when we stand at one and we support each other, we will pull through. Epole Anisel, student journalist with us here. You've always been holding up. I hope today you're fine.
Yeah, today I'm actually
we
fine.
Thank God for that. So how have you been?
Thank God. Thank God for strength, for health. And it's a pleasure always trying to make it on time.
Yeah, thank you. At least today we were so much on time. And we have other persons with us here who you will get to discover in the course of this program. Don't forget, we come here every Tuesday to dish out what we have for you, and together we try to deliberate. Now, what we want to talk about today, before we get the other persons involved on the set, we want to talk about this is November, December. A lot of parley and co, PPP, parley and co will be taking place in town. I'm talking about weddings. So many persons are getting married this month and next month. And what I want to talk today has to do with weddings. It's a very important topic. It's something that I really want us to not be sentimental, but we try to put much advice to it, so that those who have been involved in issues like this, those who maybe are still thinking in this particular light, might learn or have a change of mind and see how they can better themselves. So Madam Kindness will throw the topic that we have for today on the screen, and you at home, feel free to participate. You can send us a text message at any moment of the program. We will read it, and you can also follow us through all the social media platforms that we have here. Now, Mr. Ebong Fidel, Madam Epole Anisel and Mr. Ebong Fidel, today I want to talk about a man who called off the wedding or cancelled the wedding because the bride-to-be described or called the wedding budget to be too small, that the budget is too small. Majority of persons, especially young couples who want to get married, they focus more on the event, you know, that day, you know, the kind of dress I'll put on, how many persons will attend, maybe the musicians that will invite, and all that show off, all that glamour. So that's why you see budgets now are very up there. And a young man who is trying to make up his life, first of all, it's not easy for a man to decide that, okay, I want to get married. It's never easy. But a young man who have decided, okay, I want to get married, I want you and I to be together, and now he has made his budget and share it with the bride-to-be, and the bride-to-be rubbished the budget as being too small. In the course of the program, you get to know about the budget, you know, the cost of the budget. But now we have our own pretty Crystal. It's always a pleasure. I know, boy, with traffic and everything, it's never too easy. How have you been? And you know, we are so very glad and happy always having you.
Thank you, Prince. I've been great. I can say awesome till March. Don't expect me to fall sick because weekends are before.
And you're sewing many dresses during this period.
That's why the budget has to be high, you know.
Okay. Okay, the budget has to be high because we have so many weddings. Of course, it's a period of celebration. It's a period of wedding. Weddings are very good, but now if you approach it, the foundation, if it's not really firm, that's when we'll start having issues at the start. Mr. Fidel, let me come to you. You're a man, you are married, and I know you do not face these challenges. But now you imagine a young man who wants to plan on getting married and now made the budget. Now let me spill the beans. He is expecting 250 persons for the wedding. That's his own estimate. And then he is also estimating that he might have about 40 to 50 miscellaneous or extra people that will come. So he's budgeting for 300 persons. So he is calculating that maybe about 500,000 will do for the food, 500,000 or 600,000, and then the rest they can buy drinks where each table might have maybe water and maybe wine, and then everybody will go home with one bottle. Maybe you can drink one bottle without anything of a choice, you know. So he budgeted 1 million francs for all of that. But now he was hoping that the food will be prepared by family members. You know, when you prepare family members, they can come together and prepare eru, koki, and everything. It will be less expensive. But the wife says no, she wants but service traiteur. And you know, service traiteur to cook a flask of eru that our mothers, the aunts can prepare for maybe say 25,000-30,000. Service traiteur will be telling you something like 70,000 to 80,000. So they went through the list, and she said people cannot come to her wedding and then drink just one bottle. How will they look at them? And then rubbishes so many things until the man had to get very furious, angry, and cancel the list. If you find yourself in this situation, will you react as that man, or is it correct or wrong?
The truth is, now the way that people do weddings now, we tend to replicate what others did and do it even more.
It's like
than
comparison.
Yes, we want to compare, and then we add such that our weddings becomes the talk of a town. Maybe you hear people quoting stories that no, some guy organized a wedding maybe in this and this hotel in 2018. Since then, he has not seen any other wedding that has beaten that one, and things like that. In fact, many people in quote are just concentrating now on making a name that is trying to satisfy others instead of satisfying themselves. And the truth is, if you think just of today, you are going to suffer tomorrow. And what 3/4 of the people out there that are organizing weddings now and that are still to organize weddings are doing, they want to make a name. Let their weddings be the talk of the town, forgetting to know that there is what we call a tomorrow. And the tomorrow there, you obviously need to leave tomorrow. I've seen so many examples. I've even organized some of the weddings for people that at the end of the day, in fact, people went and were getting a loan of about 1,500,000 to add to what they have already, so as to make a huge budget for a huge wedding to satisfy people. And they later on take like 3 years or 4 years to clear off the loan.
Yes.
And clearing off the loans means that you, of course, you will not be feeding adequately. It means that you have run out of cash because you're trying to meet up with the deadlines that you've given to some specific people with respect to what you got from them to pay for their weddings. And people are now even much diverting from food now to drinks. Because if you hear they say a wedding was a wedding,
it's not
know
about
that
drinks,
a whole lot of drink, you had drinks there. You can imagine that somebody is doing a wedding, planning a wedding, and only for drinks you have about 1.4 million, 1.5 million. I wonder
that's a
whether
budget that you can use to open your
you
own,
want to fit the whole town with drinks or
you can
whatever.
open your own off-license.
And that is a budget that for people that can manage, for sure. You can be a whole year without you having financial difficulties, if and only if some other difficulties do not come with you to you along the line. But there is the real essence of a wedding. Let me not even too much concentrate on the wedding itself. All of this begins from where we start with our traditional part of it. That's what I consider first as the wedding, before maybe, and what people even talk much about so much today about the court wedding.
Court and white wedding.
Court and white wedding. Let us know that the court wedding there is simply there to protect the woman and nothing else.
Women are unsettled.
Yes, yeah, I know very well. That is a simple truth about it. The court wedding there is simply to protect the woman. Because if you go, you can either sign monogamy, separate property, or monogamy, joint property, or polygamy. It means that if I say I and my wife, we are signing monogamy, joint property, it means that if I am not there tomorrow in the advent of anything, everything that I have remains to my wife and maybe my children. But if I go and do monogamy, okay, for instance, we say we are going to sign monogamy, separate properties. Such weddings, if you have taken note, not so many of them, they don't come up when it comes to the court issues and the rest of
because the women, they refuse.
Obviously they will deny. And if you say it's polygamy, many of them will not still come up.
Not in this generation.
That's the truth about it. But now we have forgotten to know that the real, that we call the real wedding, is that African tradition that we are trying to emulate. Keeping aside that the white wedding, of course, we need to go before God and say, Father, this is we are two of us, join us in the holy matrimony. That one too is of essence. But why do exorbitant expenditures? Because you want to satisfy people out there. I'm glad that we have women on set. Let them not only rubbish the same, because for those that are still to get married and those other people out there, let people not be exaggerating when it comes to expenses and this wedding. You see, somebody's Ashebi girls, for instance, one person has 12 Ashebi girls, and is that person that has bought a dress for all of these 12 girls. You pay for their manicure and pedicure, you pay for everything. That means the bills that they give people. Weddings now are a whole different project on their own. That is just the problem I have about it. I've never faced a situation like this, and in fact, I did not sign polygamy, so I will not say that I am not hoping that I will face it. So since I am already married, I know that I have escaped that part of it. So I thank God that in fact I'm safe when it comes to that. But people, we need to learn, we need to know, we need to cut our, cut your coat, no longer according to your size. It should be according to your material.
You can have 1 meter material.
Yes, you can have 1 meter material. You decide what to sew with that 1 meter material. If it's not enough, if it cannot hold all of your body, try to work out something that will simply fit you, and it ends there. Nothing like sophistication and things like that.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Ebong. Madam Christelle, let me come to you now. You're a woman, and we all know that during this period, it's wedding. If you're attending wedding, Mr. Ebong has chipped in something here, like when you go to weddings, it's like comparison amongst women. And when you go to a friend's wedding, you say, okay, I want mine to be better than hers. And you have Ashwabi girls, you have waiters or hostess, everybody has a dress. And even today, one of my friends was complaining to me that she has about 5 friends who are getting married, or just go to the market and pick one expensive material and impose that that's what people have to put on. You know, in that case, maybe in some instances the man or the couple will buy the material and the girl sew. In other instances, they sew. Now, you as a girl, you are planning to get married. Will you advise that your man go and get loan for you people to get married, and then after that you pay the loan, or will you prefer that you do something very simple, whether people talk or they don't talk, and you live you happily? Be sincere.
Yeah. This is actually touching because I'm still single and I have hopes.
Of course, you have hopes. There's hope.
But there's one thing I want to say, that it's hard nonsense for you to get a loan for wedding. People forget that a wedding is not up to 24 hours. What takes to make the home is the marriage.
That's it.
Thank God that the men in the house are all married. And it's foolish for a lady to want to indulge people into something when you don't have something to chip in. My dad used to say, "We will not support your husband to pay your bride price or your dowry.
Exactly.
We will support him in every other thing." And who says your husband should take care of the Ashwabi girls and all? That's not his responsibility. Ladies, please, if you want to get a trail of Ashwabi girls, the ladies of the day, mothers of the day,
telling you,
start banking your money
Exactly.
when you think you're ready for marriage.
Yes.
Because these things are actually expensive. Means I'm one who is into weddings. I go for weddings for several purposes, and we do wedding planning and all. And we've had several situations wherein ladies end up not liking their men because of a particular day, like what will people think?
Yeah.
Please, if any lady makes that kind of statement, brother, run. That lady is not ready for marriage. That lady just wants to have the ambience and the name of that, like I'm married, but the lady is not ready to make a home. Know you that if we can do a survey, 90% of those ladies who kind of like focus on I want this, I want this, I want it to be glamorous, I want this, without even chipping anything, they end up using even money that is meant for the upkeep of the family to maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
Because it's actually you're competing with who no one even cares here. If you care, you give us the glam. Who clap? If the next day you divorce, we'll still laugh at you. We'll continue. Invite us again. We'll still come and eat.
That's it.
We don't have problems. So it should be something that our girls should really be educated upon. There's a difference between a wedding and marriage. And unless we our mothers, I don't know if it's that all mothers are dead, but I don't know. This is not how you used to do it. Why are you letting your child, your daughter, do things that you know that is wrong because you want to stand out among your friends? I don't think that's a good practice.
Thank you so very much. And of course, it's coming from a young lady who has hope. And men, if you've noticed today, if they ask a lot of young persons out, especially the men, that when will you get married or why are you not married, there's only one thing that they will say: I never get money. You know, it's all about the money that they're talking about. It's not the money to feed the lady. Is the money to foot the bills during that wedding ceremony, you know. And people live in rented houses. You are still renting a house, and then you go and borrow millions, and then you put in for an event that Christelle says is not even up to 24 hours, and then later on you live in debt. Madam Epo, let me come to you now. Christelle said most of the persons or the ladies who want this come and see, they usually use money to make up. A majority of them, they will not be patient after if the man does not even have money to feed them or take care of the family, because they want you to use everything because they want to show. You know, when you rent a limousine, you use a very big hall. Their house in Boyawe, just to rent that hall is 1 million francs. I mean, 1 million francs to rent a hall. And then somebody will insist that no, I want a wedding to take place in this particular hall. 1 million that somebody is looking at somewhere to make the entire wedding. Yours is just hall and stuff like that. And then later on when you go, the marriage cannot work up because the man cannot meet up, and then you go. Can you force your man to, let me use a borrow Ringo Besson, to do what you cannot know, or to know what you cannot do?
Well, I can't, truth be told, because any woman who thinks about today without thinking what tomorrow will look like.
They say don't celebrate Christmas and forget Sunday.
Exactly. It's not a wife material. That 1 million can go a long way. And I cannot encourage anybody to go and borrow, because we are trying to build a family and not to grow in debt. What about the others? What about the children that are coming out? So if a lady wants a glamorous wedding, I always say this: level up. If your husband is bringing 1 million francs to the table, bring at least 500K.
Even if
at
it's
least
200, we are saying.
You're assisting. He will actually know, okay, maybe she wants this and she's trying to everything possible to get there. Don't sit back, forge the bills, and just prepare and think he will do the job. No, it doesn't work that way. I, for one, I can't encourage such.
Which means that you're encouraging them that if they want a glamorous wedding, at least chip in something. Like Madam Christina already said that, all right, if you want those ashwabi guests, and because some of them, they really like it, but then I just impose it on their husbands.
There's something I want to slightly differ with this glamorous types of wedding and chipping or stuff, and at the same time to differ a little on Anisel on the fact that it doesn't actually mean that the ladies that want exaggerations in weddings and so on, that they are not wife materials. You understand?
No, I've not said so.
But the stuff is so many people want their shoulders high up there. So they want to, like, within the society, they want that people should know of their status. Now, I used to hear of people saying that maybe that would, like the question, what you made mention, that you've asked somebody, why have you not gotten married, or the other person says he has not got money or things like that. But now you come, at first I used to think that, or maybe in fact it was that, why have you not gotten married yet, and the person tells you that he doesn't have money. I was thinking that initially, maybe with when you get married, that I mean the family responsibilities that come up with it, of course, that the persons were thinking that they don't have money yet to face those family responsibilities. But I did not know that they were focusing on I never get money on the only on the fact of the event itself.
Yes, that's
and then you see how they spend. I mean, you start asking yourself, but what are people doing? Because I know a whole lot of people that each day that they go and sit somewhere to have a bottle of drink, they will spend not less than 15,000-20,000. That is just the average. That, let's just say that's just the minimum. But you say you don't have money. I wonder the ones that you spend on a daily basis. I mean, if you want to do a survey on the amount of money that Cameroonians spend only on drinking per month, you see how much money it is. Just like the same people that smoke, if they tell you how much money they spend in a month only on cigarette, you see that it's already a huge sum of money. But people have forgotten to know that when you are living a single life, when you are single, the way that you spend is not obviously the same way that you will spend when you have somebody that is maybe your wife. Because so when your wife steps in,
when we're talking about the money or the budget, it should be money for not for the event, but to take care of the family. To take care of the family later on, not money that you want to concentrate only on the event itself. And in fact, in our African context now, so many people are instead focusing more on celebrating on that same day, just like Christelle said, and forget about the preceding days. Whereas we're supposed to focus on how are we going to remain in our marital homes for the rest of the days. I know a whole lot of people that had a lot of quarrels with their parents because to pay the bride price, what they call the lease, the lease that was given to their fiancés was really so the girls
high.
Now had to
the girls and the girls were asking, you are asking all of this money. If we give you all if we give you all that we have, you eat it, what are we going to eat later on? So you start getting some sense of belonging of some women already.
That's true.
As compared to those that I have 10 million, okay, let us use 7 million to do our wedding, and 3 million. 10 million presently is a whole lot of money that can do a whole lot of things. But some people just at a, I don't know, they just throw it away. I consider it throwing it away.
People have money. People have money, but the whole issue is the planning. There are some weddings that people will organize, and you want to, let me say, estimate or think about the budget, you might collapse and you think that you can never get married. But now, they say, as we've mentioned in this program, cut your coat according to your material. People can celebrate their weddings in big halls that they pay 1 million francs. If you have just that feel in front of your house, even if there's no canopy and we pray that rain should not fall, it's wedding. You can go and rent your chairs and you come. So it all depends. And you've mentioned another point here, the woman. The woman really matters, because there are some that you can say, okay, you can really readily have the 10 million. You say, okay, honey, I want us to do a flashy wedding, a glamorous wedding. Let's spend 7 million. The woman said, no, hey, how can we spend up to 7 million just for wedding? To me, maybe we invest this and we spend maybe 2 million for the wedding. After that, we still have life. Then you already know a woman who is focused.
The African man goes through 3 types of wedding. We have the traditional, you have the court, and you have the white wedding. When it comes to the traditional wedding, what we have given you in our list, have you brought all of them? You say yes, these are all of them. That is the wedding day. Whatever things that happens during that time again, merrymaking, you killing cows, you killing whatever.
It's a business.
It doesn't concern
and
that
it's
particular
one of the
wedding.
cheapest.
When it goes to the court, if you are being asked if it is 17,000 to register ward, and so you come, the mayor or whoever sits there and they do all of that, and you come and sign and you do that is the wedding. It ends there.
If you mix the two of them, you can do that comfortably. If not that people, because we'll come to the people have been inflating.
And if you go to the church and the priest or the pastor or whosoever comes during a service or a mass or whatever and joins the two of you, that you are now officially man and wife, the wedding ends there. It means that if you put together all these processes, these 3, let's forget about maybe the traditional part of it that we may not know, but when you put together the court and the church, it's not up to 60,000 francs here.
Yeah, to join the money to follow the procedures.
Yes, to do those 2.
Yes.
For the traditional now, we have different variation and so on.
Thank you so very much. We have Ayok Tens, who is here with us. And thank you so very much, despite the busy schedule, to be with us here today. And we are talking about a man who had to cancel the wedding because the bride-to-be described the wedding list to be too small. You know, I've been in a situation where, let me explain this thing to you people. We attended a wedding, and the couple, they are living in a rental, they were owing the landlord about 4 to 5 months. And then the landlord came, he could not even eat. He saw only wedding, food, drinks, artists and everything. He just gave them
next day, he'll give my money.
You understand? So, what do you have to say about this? You know, is a man right or wrong?
It all depends. Let's start looking at the concept of marriage in itself. The thing is that we Africans have tend to exaggerate everything. Have you seen when the Europeans do their wedding? You have about 4 people in the hall.
Simple.
My elder brother was lucky to get married in the Philippines, and when I told him, I said, let them put it live so I can follow up. And I bet you there were not up to 50 persons. But it didn't change the fact that it was not that they were not getting married, because there is a difference between a wedding and a marriage. A wedding is just what happens that day that you go and you sign. Marriage is after those people you have invited have left, and you start facing the real ball game in the house.
Yes.
So if this lady, they are the people canvassing for gender equality. Ladies, we have feminists who want to take the place of the man in the house. So if you say the money is too small, I think that it would have been wise for her that when coming, she brings her own portion. Because the marriage is not just for the man, it's 2 people coming together to form one. So it means that they have to join their resources. If we are coming together to form one, we are coming with our bodies to form one, that means we can equally join our resources, that we become one, and we do it to the taste that you want. To me, it's not something that will really bring conflict. But if the woman does not have the resources to do the kind of wedding that she so desires, I think then she's just being flimsy. She's making useless statements. Yes. So that is what I think. If the woman is complaining that the budget is small, it's all right to complain. But when you make sure that when you are complaining, make sure that this wedding you want to have, you have something to chip in. Because you will not bring a wedding bill for about 10 million.
Presumably, the woman did not have anything to add.
Okay.
Because if the woman had something to add,
just
the wedding would not have been cancelled.
That means that I also blame that man, because that man is carrying a liability on the very first day.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a liability. That's a liability mindset.
Obviously.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Because the world has changed. I was discussing this with my dad, and I told him something. I said, the world is evolving, and we should be able to move with the evolving world. At first, we used to see men, everything daddy, Maggie, daddy, light, daddy. The world has changed. That's why you see guys now who want to make sure that even though you're not working in an office, but they'll try to establish you, have something doing. That if in case I'm going to work and gas gets finished, will you call me in the office, daddy, gas is finished? To hell with you if you try that with me. Because I will not tolerate that nonsense. I cannot carry a liability and put in my house. I cannot. So the lady, she never had anything. She should keep quiet. The man should just know that if he's signing for that, he's signing his death warrant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ayotens, for joining us. Please, you can equally send us your own contributions via the number you see on your screen, and of course, we will have your contributions here. We have this contribution. It says, any woman with that kind of thought cannot manage her family spending all that amount on one day. What will happen after marriage? That man took a good decision. He did not tell us your name and where you are texting us from. And it's from a lady. If you notice that the man, the decision is okay, because if you start at this particular moment, it means you cannot take care of your home. These are the kind of women who, as you say, from the very first day, are liabilities.
Yes.
If you don't handle it at this stage, at every stage of your life, you will be like, no, let's do it like this. You say, no, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. You say, no, let's do it like this.
Exactly.
You know, you can have your budget, okay, I want to be a bungalow. And since she likes this flashy lifestyle, she wants but a one floor or an upstairs house. So you need to start adjusting all these things from the start. But now, some women believe, let me still come back to you, that the money, the man's money is our money. Mm-hmm. But their money is their money.
Okay.
Yes.
The that statement, it's a derogatory one, in the sense that when a lady starts thinking like that, you the man, a man, when they say that thing, that fall in love, I always advise that fall in love with your heart and with your brain and with your eyes, because Chinua Achebe says in his in one of his books, he said, when an egg is hatched, you know the one that will be a hen and the one that will be a cock from day one. Mm-hmm. So those are already red lines you are seeing. How come can you have this budget to make your wedding? And what most people fail to understand in Africa is that the most recognized form of marriage is traditional wedding. Yes. That's the most recognized. Mm-hmm. With the court and the church, the courts and the church is maybe expensive. We make it to be expensive because we want to invite the whole boya to come. Mm-hmm. You can have 5 people for your wedding. It will not change the fact that you are married. It will not change it. And I used to, like the last wedding I attended last month, I was opportune to hear my uncle giving advice to my cousin who was getting married. He said something, and that thing struck me up to this very day. He said, "Are you seeing these people were at Fini Hotel in Limbe? He said, are you seeing these people seated here? They have just come to eat and go. Yeah. The real marriage will start when just the both of you will go and have different ideas. When you say they should put it this way, she says this way. Yes. That is where the marriage will start. But these people must have eaten and left.
And they don't care.
And they don't care. That's just the truth. They don't care. How will you be doing a marriage for 10 million? No, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. There are people who have that capacity,
they have the money,
to do that. But some people go to the extent of borrowing.
Exactly.
To borrow to meet a standard. You know, especially with this our generation, we have some kind of stupid competition. Because my friend did his or hers for this, she rented this place, and you want this place also.
Yes, or I want to do more.
Or you want to do more.
But you don't even have the means.
But you don't have the means. So, at the end of the day, you are landing yourself. The first day you're entering marriage, you're getting into debt. And I bet you, when you enter into debt in that marriage will not last. It will break. Because at a point in time, the man will behave. They say it's love, right? The man will behave as if everything is going on well. That's one thing I love men. They'll behave as if some men will behave as if everything is going on well. A man who is not outspoken will behave as if everything is going on well. Then I bet you that when those people have left, you've gone to the house. The day you will do something, the beatings he will give you,
or they'll remind you of how much I spend. Yes,
he is beating you. It's just aggression. That's how men are. The beatings they will give you, you will compensate for the millions he spent when you didn't bring your friends.
I'm just very, very, very much interested in something you made mention earlier. Of course, the types of women we have now, there are 2 categories. We have a liability and an asset.
Exactly.
Yes, and it is very, very true that if you are not very, very careful, you pick a liability and you put in your home. And once you marry a liability, know that you have married trouble and poverty.
Exactly.
Because that is the end result. But when you marry an asset, oh God, I mean, all of us, we know, and we have women here. They will tell us whether they'll get whether their assets or liability at the later stage of the day. But it is very, very, very true and normal that you sometimes. It used to beat my imagination when I hear maybe like I was in church someday and it was a day of maybe family, holy family, something like that, and I saw a lady who has been married for 15 years. My brother, if I was, when they said, okay, those that have been married for 10 years, 5 years, she stood up for 15 years. I folded my arms and I was looking at her. To tell you the simple truth, if you look at her, she is not like somebody that's been married for 3 years. Then I asked her, when did you get married? How old are you in the first case? She said she got married at the age of 25. And she is now 40 years old. Means that she has been married for 15 years. And then I saw one couple, they have been married for 50 years. They have been married for 50 years. It doesn't mean that they are 50 years old. Understand. So you can imagine somebody who has been married for 50 years or a couple that has been living together for 50 years. My brother, is just an indication to tell you that the man got married to an asset.
That's
the
it.
man got married to an asset. Some people, they will get married today, 1 month after, it is a whole different ball game. Somebody has sent us a text on the same podium on something like that. That maybe she was a victim. We don't know whatever happened. Maybe lies, not really that she was a liability or something, but got married and 1 month after had to go through a divorce process. Maybe the husband initiated or she initiated or whatever, but we are not interested in that. But just to say that, why will you spend huge sums of money on a wedding that you are not, first of all, very, very rest assured that it will succeed? And you are not rest assured that it will succeed because you are making it not to succeed.
Exactly.
Yes, that's the way I look at it.
Now let me get to Madame Christine. Madame Christine, now most girls, especially these Android generation girls, they believe that it's the man who has to take care of them. It's the man who is in charge of the family. Like Ayuk was saying, that is daddy. They still have this mindset. Now, do you support them or not? Because to some of them, they say a man leaves a mother, is a man who is supposed to take charge, is a man who is supposed to take care of the family. But you believe that they also have something to contribute, or should a woman start contributing right from the wedding?
This, if some of the ladies say the man left their mother, where did you live or who did you live before you met a man? If you left your uncle, that's your problem. But I think that's why I think marriage counseling is very important. Yes. Sometimes we neglect some things because we are afraid of the do's and don'ts, what we tell you not to do while in courtship. But these are the little things that you see. You start seeing your own devil that you're going to bring in your house. You finally decide to pour anointing oil or not. But to me, the lady has to start contributing right from the wedding preparations. Remember, I said wedding because there are some things like that you cannot learn on the man. See, we want the ladies to shine. We want our bridesmaids and the fly girls and the ladies of the
most expensive gown.
It's good. We all want to see you shine and glamorous. But please help the man. It will cost you nothing to say, "Hey, babe," or whatever you choose to call him. That forget about my bridesmaids. I'll take care of them.
That's a very big relief.
See, I've been bridesmaids for 13 weddings and little bride for 3 weddings. In a wedding,
how many flowers have you caught? Okay, go ahead.
In a wedding that the lady left from Belgium, we contributed 35,000 francs each as bridesmaids.
Okay.
We told her, "You not kill that man because
he's from Belgium.
He's get."
Thank you.
Yes, and we were. If you look at us, they will be hailing the couples. We all know what we are doing behind.
Yes.
From traditional right to white wedding, we're all dressed in the same and we're all clean, but we contributed for it.
We call them asset bridesmaids, not liability bridesmaids.
Cannot bring, and most times you see the girls you call your friends are the ones that bring you down.
Exactly.
A girl is not well informed. Maybe you've not been exposed to several things, and you call some acquaintances, friends, and those girls that just want to be seen. They want to use Snapchat and make their videos
for husbands
for
on that
TikTok and they start giving you crazy ideas. Please, ladies, don't let these girls bring down your homes, because they go for things that they will not even do. They will not be able to afford. Truth be spoken, like what Mr. Ayok said, if you get a liability into your house, I don't know if people who understand accounting, it's difficult to balance your balance sheet if the liability is more than the assets. It's very difficult. At one point you lie, and you know whether you're lying to yourself to make it balance, but deep within you know that it's difficult. We can help these guys, like, can help these guys make it work, and we don't need very expensive. A guy I know so well had a friend, I'll call him the boss. The boss's wedding was like 30 million put together, and because you're close with this boss, you want, with their fame and everything, so this is a guy, you want your wedding to be like 10 million, and you tell the lady you're dating and you want to get married, the lady says no, I can't get married to a man who wants a wedding for 10 million. You say that girl is not serious. They broke up. But I applaud that lady.
Yeah,
sure.
Because you know where you're going to. If a man can stoop so low to compete for a wedding, it means everything in your house will be competition.
Yes, everything.
When you see your friend buy a Porsche car, you want to buy a Porsche car. So you see some men too, I don't know if it's that scamming is a problem and all, but they need to be informed, because this thing, I made mention, it's not up to 24 hours. Take it to, when they wake up, they do their makeup and all, they go before they cut and all. That's why some people can even do cut and white on the same day.
Yes.
And you spare yourself some crazy expenses that you could actually use the money. Thank God for Bamileke people, because you say Bamileke lady going for a wedding that will cost 5 million, means that lady is not pure Bamileke. Something went wrong somewhere.
She will calculate, that's capital.
Clean.
Clean capital.
And Prince Liki, I should come here. I should intervene in this part, because thank God that we are in this is Divine Mercy TV station, so the Catholic Church, and we should use the Bible. They say they have an idea that it's the man that has to take care of the woman. Often. Let's go to that Bible. I don't know how they read their Bibles at times, if they read it. Go to Genesis chapter 2 verse 20 to 22. When Adam was in the Garden of Eden, he didn't see, he was with animals, but God thought it wise that in that scenario where he found himself, he never saw a helpmate. And what did God say? Let me create a helpmate. When God is saying that a helpmate for the man, what does it mean?
Somebody who will help you,
assist you. So when I get such a mentality, about people want to come with girls who want to go into an already made home.
Yeah,
it's a facade in the sense that you look at social media. I like social media because people post when they are happy. Exactly. They don't post the horrible moments. Exactly. That's one thing people fail to understand with social media. Social media is deceptive to the core, in the sense that people will post their happy moments. And I had this argument. No, it's not an argument. We're just chatting. It was an exchange. And this girl was talking about this guy they call in Nigeria Obi Kubana. The mother's funeral. Yes, the mother's funeral. No, he was talking better about the wife. That the way this guy is so proud of that, the wife is like. I said, you can say that because you've not done background findings. Go and do background findings. That lady you are seeing today, started with him in one room. He said it.
From day one,
that lady had been with him. Like,
they struggled together.
They struggled together. He said they were sleeping in one room with his friends. That lady was sleeping there also with them. And the fortune he has amassed over the years, that lady has contributed so much to what he is.
Exactly.
And so, see,
that's why he will value.
That's the thing, that he will value her. It's not that they don't have problems.
They do.
They will have it. Even the best couples in the world do have their problems. But now the thing is, they should know how to go about their problems that a third party doesn't even come. You don't even know if they have it. If you get married, for example, for a man who made it already, the tendency with those men is that we'll never value you. You don't have a place. You will not even call me to ask me, why have you not come home? Are you sick? But a lady who started with you from scratch, the reference you will pay towards that woman, because you know that she knows where you are coming from, and you know that she has been a fundamental pillar to every height that you are taking. So they should let our girls, you are getting me, you should cancel that idea. If you have that idea, cancel it. It's not bad having it, but you can cancel it now.
At first I used to say at first that I will not get married until
You have money.
I am made up. Not even have money.
Until you've made it.
Yes, let me say until I am made
What
up.
what if you make
And
it
when
at
I
60?
say when I say I am made up, I mean I have a
house,
plot,
a car,
I have a
everything.
car. My house is well furnished, so that my wife just comes and sits and enjoy herself. That was the initial mentality I had. But when I had to go back to the drawing board, I told myself that if I have to wait till this time, money is not forthcoming.
House is not coming.
Lands are getting every day
Expensive.
expensive. How am I going to do with this? And I decided, and then I had the objective that at the age of 30, I need to get married so that at least my firstborn,
By the time you are 40, it
when
should be
I'm
10
40,
years.
it'll be 10 years. When I'm 50, I should see my children grow. My children should fetch water for me to drink. I mean, let me hear everywhere, daddy. So no, even I want to hear the grandpa.
Yes.
When I'm still
When
very
you're still
young.
very strong.
Then I said, no, this thing is like I have to change. And that's how I had to change now. I was living in a one-room plan house. That's the truth about it. From 2014
Yeah, Obi Kubana
2015.
story.
Yeah, no, in a single room.
Yeah,
Yes.
And the truth is that room, when my room ended, the next place was a toilet. I was a pit toilet. And the pit
Carabao
toilet
house.
was it is like if your phone did fall in it, you
send your hand and you
don't
pick
need
it.
to strain much. You just have to bend down, send your hand down 1 meter, and you pick it. That is the simple truth about it. I can direct you where I was.
No, we don't need that.
And so yes, of course. So the woman that God blessed me with came and made me in
that
there.
place.
Yes, and we were savoring it together. Whatever I think that was coming, we're savoring it together, and we started building from zero. We left from there, transferred to another place, and the family started growing. Who I was working my money when we eat 25 francs. If I have 25, we'll eat 5 francs and keep 20 francs, preparing for a wedding. And as that simply finished, and then went and did bride price, paid everything. As it is now, I don't owe my in-law anything. Apart from beer that they can come to my house and say, okay, go and buy my in-law a bottle of beer. Yeah. But to say that swine, that pig, I'm not didn't know. I don't know if it's that they owe me. I don't know what they owe me for now, but they owe me.
All right.
So it's simply just to say that for sure. I still go back on the aspect of this asset stuff. You get the woman as an asset. You are sure to get to whatever level that you want to get. And look at the funny thing there. You invite people in a court wedding. You see 10 people coming to attend your court
Yes,
wedding.
because there's no food there.
30 people will come for church wedding. Then you go now to the reception.
200 people.
You see 300.
Now, let
400.
me explain this to you. That's something. Anyway, you were at my wedding. All of you were there. While in church, there was population in church, but it was not that full.
Yes,
We were
yes.
there. But I was surprised that when we
reception.
stepped out of the church,
People were already at
and
the
we're
reception.
doing photogram. My elder sister called me that the hall is full already. I mean, people were still in church. So I was like, where are these people coming from? They don't bother about that. What they bother is that
Their food and drink.
Mala,
Yes.
You don't know their problem.
That's it.
but they know their location.
Yes.
So that's the issue. Now, in summary, all they have been saying here is women, young girls out there, please persevere with somebody. If you listen to the story of Mr. Ebong and that of Obi Kubana, please, you need to persevere with somebody. There are many of them who I've heard girls say that if you're a man, if you does not have a car, if you don't have a house that you have built, don't even ask for my number, don't do that, because they want to get into ready-made homes. And most of the times when you get there, the man will, at most of the time, insult you. Where were you when I was making my money? Do you know how I made my money?
Exactly.
But now somebody who struggled with you can never ask such, because it's our money. In that case, it's not my money.
Yeah.
So please learn to persevere. And again, all this issue of massive budget and everything, don't forget that thing is just an event too. After that, life continues. And the worst part is when you get home and then maybe you have children or just the two of you, and you get up the next morning, you don't even know where manna will come from, or somebody falls sick and you don't even know where money will come from to go and cure that person. It's very icky. You start seeing yourself as a useless man or a man who has not achieved. And there are women who, they even push you to go borrow money to get married, and then when things are not moving on at home, they start abusing you, useless man. You know what it means for a woman to call a man a useless man?
I think the woman is even more useless, because when you say, I think the woman is even more useless, because when I see women calling their husbands useless, you know he's useless and I got married to a useless man. So you didn't know he was using it. It makes you more stupid, even.
You didn't know, eh?
So it's
They did not do background information. Some men also might lie, you know. Some people might present themselves to be rich or to be big and all that, but the whole issue
I would like to cut you there. if I present myself to you as rich, I tell you everything I'm rich, it's because you want it that way.
Yeah.
yes.
That is a simple truth about it. Because if you want somebody natural, you see natural people coming to you.
Exactly.
If you want to live a lifestyle that you first of all cannot, or you are not even up to, you will see people that will come with lifestyles to you that of course are very high lifestyle, just to come and fool you and do whatever they want to do.
So I like this topic. I just remembered something. This topic has a lot. I think I've witnessed a lot about this topic. This particular, I have a friend. At that time, I was still in medical school. I think I discussed this thing with in one of our graduates. He had this lady. So this lady, they had been dating for 4 years. From when he entered medical school, I think from the second year they had been dating. So there was this guy that came. The guy looked rich. He looked more prosperous than
the other guy.
So this lady told that guy that the guy she had been dating, I'm not going to feel married to you. You're not going to see me lock in Gungambi. You understand?
I understand.
But after they got married, that guy, do you know what that guy was doing? That guy was a trafficker. That guy was a drug trafficker.
It's common.
So, about 4 years after, that guy had finished medical school and he went to one of these schools in Israel, neurosurgery. He's a neurosurgeon.
Imagine.
And you know how much they pay those guys? At that time, he didn't look like it. The thing is that in our dealings with human beings, don't conclude on a human being. It's very dangerous. You are not God.
Never know tomorrow.
Don't conclude. That's one thing I learned. Don't conclude on a human being. The person you think might be down there today, he might go far than what you ever thought in life.
Thank you so very much. Let's take this text message and then we'll wrap it up. This one's Hello Prince, beautiful program. There are women who have stood by their men in not so good times, and when things become fine, the men dumped them. What can we say about that? This is Ruth from Moliko. Yeah, it's true. It's true. There are some men, just that due to time, I believe we can take another time to talk about it. But it's true. There are women who will struggle, and then the man will say, nah, so Master, me and you will not compare. You understand? But I just bet you that if you have impacted the life of somebody, if you have really genuinely contributed towards the growth of somebody, it will be very difficult for that person to abandon you. Character-wise and every other thing might step in, but if you really, really persevere with that person, and if that person still dumps you, not to worry, don't pray bad prayer for that person, just leave the person unto God. Thank you all for coming so very much. It's been a very, very interesting program. Ayok, thank you so very much for being there. Epole Anisel, you know, it's always a pleasure. Mr. Ebon Fidel and our own pretty Christelle. Thanks also very much for coming. Next week again, God's willing, we'll join here for another very interesting program with another very, very beautiful topic. Until then, keep watching much more interesting programs here on Divine Mercy Television.